But what do you think the Bears are going to do with the first overall pick and their options?
Listen, I think they're going to trade that pick. I personally wouldn't. I just think the top two quarterbacks in this draft are so good, and I worry about Fields. And it just, it changes everything for a decade or more. But listen, those are opinions that could easily be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're watching a game in which quarterbacks running are having impacts that we didn't necessarily predict even 5 years ago. So, there are ways they can use Fields that I think can be very effective.
And the top two in your mind are Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud?
Stroud, yeah.
So if you're the Bears, you'd take one of those two?
I would. Listen, here's how I think about it. If you hit on the first round, it's 50%.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hit rate in the first round. The hit rate in the second round is 40%.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say you got 2 1s and 2 2s. You probably are getting 2 players, 2 quality starters.
Mm-hmm.
Would I trade the difference between, let's say, a B quarterback and an A quarterback, or I have 2 other players at different position? For me, that's a no-brainer. The quarterback can make such a massive difference that I'm taking the difference between, a good and a really good quarterback. And remember, they're both really projection at this point. We know a little bit more about Fields. We've at least seen him on the field with other NFL players. The other guys we haven't.
Right.
And I'm not sure in the end I wouldn't pick Stroud even first if I had the first pick. Some of it just watching, all the Murrays, all the Hurts, all these guys are getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we shouldn't be blowing through size actually matters as quickly as we have as, we go to Kyler Murray as the first pick in the draft. So, if you gave me a chance to have a guy that I really believe is a chance to be a top 5 difference maker, can carry a team versus be on a very good team, I'm willing to make that trade. So I want to get the best quarterback I possibly can within reason.
So if we then assume that Poles is going to trade it, that they do seemingly love Fields clearly more than what you have professed, and they are also the ones in the building with him. So let's just say that's what's going to happen. What's Poles' first order of business or continuing to do that? How does one operate when you're trading a first overall pick?
So his phone is probably ringing. Hopefully it's not the other way, because it does give away a little bit of strength if you're the one initiating the call. But, you can always cover that up. I always say the leverage in the negotiations is a perception of leverage as opposed to anything you actually have. So no one knows how many other teams are talking to him or what spots in the draft they're at. So it's easy to recreate the leverage even if he gets in the position where he has to initiate the calls.
Mm-hmm.
But he's looked at what Wentz got. He looked at what Goff got. He's gone through all those trades, and he's like, why shouldn't I get at least that? And I think he's right. I think there's enough teams in the top 10 that want a quarterback. There are really high quarterbacks at the top of the draft, and I think he's going to get, when he makes the trade, as much as we've seen anybody get. So I think Wentz 3 1s and a couple of 2s. I think it's going to be a blockbuster trade as big as anything we've ever seen.
Really? Okay. When do you think that happens?
Well, if I were trying to do it, I would want to do it before free agency started, because otherwise, how can I plan what to do? So I wouldn't be shocked if it happens here in the next week or so. If it doesn't happen the next week or so, I think it's probably not likely to happen within a week or 2 of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 2 windows. We're in one now. If it passes, then there's kind of a lull in the middle. And then as we get closer to the draft, it heats up again.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.